In this video, we'll see how you can manage Outlook emails and their attachments in SharePoint Online and Microsoft Teams while you work in Outlook Web Access on mobile devices and Macs using an app called MacroView Mail. MacroView Mail is an Office app, so it will run in Outlook Online, otherwise known as Outlook Web Access, in Outlook on an iOS or Android mobile device, in Outlook on a Mac, as well as in desktop Outlook. MacroView Mail lets you manage emails and their attachments in Office 365. That's Teams, OneDrive for business areas, in fact any area in SharePoint Online for which you have permission. Here we are in Outlook Web Access. Let's save this email about Microsoft Power Automate. We can do that by clicking the MacroView Mail icon here in the taskbar. We can then choose whether to save to OneDrive for business areas, Teams areas, or other SharePoint Online areas. It now shows all the SharePoint Online site collections for which we have permission. Let's drill down into the Customers and Matters site collection, and within that to the ABC Limited subsite, its Matters library, and this document set. We can now choose the email folder and hit the diskette in order to do the save. The email is now being saved to that SharePoint Online area in the background. Once it's saved, the mail in Outlook Web Access is marked with a Save to SharePoint indicator and a URL to indicate the save location. Here's another email, this one with an attachment. Let's save it to SharePoint as well. This time we see that we have the choice to include the attachments if we wish as part of the save. Let's choose to save to a Teams area for which we have permission. We'll drill down to the MacroView Consulting team, and within that to the General channel and this particular folder. Let's save to that folder. The email is now being uploaded in the background to that Microsoft Teams folder. MacroView Mail minimizes the number of steps we need to take in order to save an email to an area in Office 365. To speed our save, we can use recent areas or favorite areas. If our incoming email contains a filing tag in its subject, MacroView Mail automatically locates us to that area. MacroView Mail provides a great experience when saving emails. You can see all areas in Office 365 for which you have permission. It minimizes the number of steps to perform the save. The resulting emails are named in order to prevent duplicate copies in case other recipients attempt to save the same email. The save is performed securely in the background, and the newly saved emails are marked, and if you wish, they can be moved automatically to a new folder in your Outlook environment. Let's go into the Microsoft Teams user interface and use the Files tab to drill down into our P100 project area. Here is our newly saved email. If we use the email messages view, we see that the attributes of that email, the subject, to, from, and receive time, etc., have been recorded automatically as the email is saved. We can now double-click the email in order to retrieve it from Teams and view it. Back in Outlook Web Access, let's save the attachment to this email. Let's choose our recent Teams location and save. We're now being prompted for metadata in respect of our attachment. Let's type ahead to choose a value for this Manage Metadata field called Document Type and advance the status of processing stage from submitted to approved. Our attachment is now being saved securely to that project area in Teams. Well, as we've seen, MacroView Mail provides great metadata handling. The attributes of the email, such as to, from, subject, etc., are recorded automatically. That's provided the relevant metadata is defined in the destination Office 365 area, which is easy to do using the MacroView Solution Provisioning tool. The name of the folder where we drop can also be automatically recorded as the value of a metadata column. For example, dropping in the Agreement folder can automatically set Document Type to Agreement. And MacroView Mail supports all types of metadata, including managed metadata columns based on a hierarchical term set. In addition to saving emails and attachments, MacroView Mail also helps us to retrieve files from Office 365 and insert them as attachments or links in a new email. Here's a new email open in Outlook Web Access. Let's click the MacroView Mail icon. We can use our favorite locations, our recently used locations, and also we can pick recently used files. Let's choose this recently used bag insert. It's now inserted as an attachment. We could make this opening bell insert as a link. MacroView Mail also helps us to search for files in SharePoint based on their content and metadata. To see that, let's go to our recently used project area in Microsoft Teams and search for all files whose content or metadata contains the word property. Here are two files that contain property. Let's choose to insert this first one. If we then open that inserted attachment, we see that it contains the word property in its title. To summarize, MacroView Mail lets us find and retrieve files stored in Office 365 areas. We can insert them as either attachments or links. We can do this while we're working in either Outlook Web Access or in Desktop Outlook. MacroView Mail provides quick access to recently used files and recently used locations. We can also preview files before they're inserted and convert Office documents to PDF before they're inserted. To get started with MacroView Mail, you can download from the App Source or from the MacroView Help Center. You can start with the free edition and upgrade to the Enterprise edition if required. Use these details for more information about MacroView Mail and other MacroView solutions for generating and managing documents and emails in Office 365, SharePoint, and Teams.